Let's see who you are. I take off your disguise. And flick.
Oh.
You flick too hard, damn it!
Shall we help him? And eventually, grape.
Okay, chat. Now we're going to go ahead and get into my spoiler review for Thor, Love, and Thunder. And I want to kind of hit the big spoilers first, chat. You know, one of the best parts of the movie deals with Natalie Portman's Jane Foster character. Taika Waititi clearly was inspired by and is partially adapting the Mighty Thor comic, in which Jane Foster does have cancer, stage 4 cancer, and she seeks Mjolnir in an attempt to heal her cancer. The problem is, chat, it actually doesn't do that. You know, although it gives her the powers of Thor, anytime where she is not using her ability, where she reverts to a more human form, she becomes sicker. Because the powers of Mjolnir and her abilities of Thor are basically purging the chemo from her body, leaving her in a weakened state. And so that's like one of the big, parts of this movie. One of the major stakes in this film is, you know, the more that she fights and the more that she's trying to help Thor and Valkyrie and Korg in this movie, the sicker that she's getting. The more she's putting herself at the risk of death. And, you know, the major portion of this film involves of her and Thor trying to find the children of Asgard who have been kidnapped by Gorr, who has kidnapped all the children for whatever purposes. We don't know. I'll tell you in a bit. But, you know, there's a point in the film where she's become so weakened that Thor and Valkyrie and her, they have to retreat back to Asgard after dueling Gorr, who defeats them. And she's extraordinarily sick. And, you know, the romance between her and Thor has been reignited and I think handled very, very well. And he's like telling her, like, you need to stay here or you will die. You will die. And she looks sicker. She looks paler. She looks more gaunt as the movie goes on. It's like, it's not looking good. And she's like, come back to me and he says, like, I love you. I can't lose you. Okay. I've lost all these other people. I can't lose you. And he has to do it himself because, you know, Valkyrie's been injured. He goes back, he fights Gorr and everything. He was trying to seek this eternity where he can get this wish. It's the MacGuffin of the movie where I got to use Stormbreaker, this big old axe, put it right there, open up the portal in this guy's wiener, and I can wish to eternity, and he wants to kill all gods. He's like, instantly kill them all, and boom, he will give you your wish. You kill all the gods, right? Thor goes there and fights him. And we get a wonderful action sequence where he gives all the Asgardian children temporary Thor powers, and so they have all these like little makeshift weapons and shit. Like there's a stuffed animal. This girl has like this little stuffed bunny rabbit, and it's like shooting lightning out of its eyes. It's going I love it. That action sequence is fucking great. But Thor and the children are not strong enough, and his army of monsters, I love his shadow monsters that he's able to summon. Thought they were really, really cool in the movie. But they're unable to defeat him. He's too powerful. And then Jane's like, I gotta go. And so she goes there, and she helps him eventually destroy the Necroblade, and they go through this portal, right? And inevitably what happens is Jane's been left so weak that she dies. She does die in this movie, Chad. It's like, and she becomes fucking gold dust after everything. And later on, one of the end credit stingers, Chad, is her actually entering the halls of Valhalla, where she is confronted and meets with Idris Elba. Heimdall is in the movie. And he's like, hey, Jason, fucking Heimdall. He's like, yeah, you're in Valhalla now. You died a warrior. And so she wins in the end. I mean, she's dead. But she's gone off to this, this great idyllic life to live among all of the dead Asgardians and dead gods. And I loved how they handled it. I thought it was very brave because I thought what they were going to do is like, all right, they're going to keep her around. They're not actually going to kill her. It's like, oh my God, they killed her. She's dead. Holy shit. And that really took me aback that they did that with her. I thought that was brave. And her last moments, I thought the acting from her and from Chris Hemsworth and from Christian Bale also was especially good. And so everything that they did with her and her death scene, I thought was handled very, very well. I thought that was handled very, very well. And then in regards to Gorr, in the movie, the first 10 minutes of this movie opens up with him. It's just his story where he's on this planet that's been savaged by like this, I don't know, like these desert winds, and he's with his daughter. And he's trying to survive. He's been praying to his God to bring them water, bring them stuff like anything. His daughter ends up dying from dehydration, and then he eventually buries her. He's crying. He's waiting death, and he hears this voice like, this way. And he comes to this oasis chat where he comes upon his God who's there, and he's like, oh my God, it's so good to hear. He's like, what the fuck are you, you smelly, dirty peasant? And he's just being a piece of shit to him. He's like, but I've been prayed to you. He's like, oh yes, you dirty peasants, you pray so much. And he's doing all that. And he notices the necro blade right there. He's like, oh, what has happened? And it's like, oh, this fool tried to kill me with the necro blade, but he was too weak. And he's like, well, because he's like asking him, like, why didn't you help me and my daughter? He's like, I don't give a fuck about you and your daughter. I fuck you and your people. I'm just gonna get more followers somewhere else. And he's like, fuck you, and he fucking kills him. And he makes that vow. He makes that vow with the necro blade, who promises to give him all this power. Like, every god must die. And he's great in the movie. And there's all these fucking scenes when he's like acting like Pennywise, when he's summoning Santa. He creates a cage of like hentai. He's like, I'm gonna put all the kids in the hentai cage and just puts them right in there, chat. Just puts them right in there, chat. Thought that was awesome. Puts him in there, and he starts acting like Pennywise, because I think Thor, he occasionally visits because he's able to. Oh yeah, what's his name's son? Apparently Heimdall has a son named Astrid, chat, or Axel, depending on how you want to say his name. But he wants to be called by Axel. He doesn't want to be called Astrid anymore. And he's able to do that projection thing with his eyes, and so Thor can visit the kids and make sure, like, hey, we're doing okay. And he's telling them all these stories of what their adventures have been like so far. And then Christian Bale's like, well, that was a great story. And he just starts doing this whole fucked up dark version of a puppet show with hentai creatures. And he's like, oh, so, Thor was talking about chopping off that one's head. Well, this is my friend Octi. Say hello to the children, Octi. And he rips his head off. And they're all like, oh. He's like, oh, you thought it was funny when he did it. Oh, well. I was like, I loved all that shit. I thought that was great. I thought that was great with him. But I also loved how with Gorr at the end of the movie, he realized he was wrong. He was so corrupted by his lust for vengeance and by the necro sword. And he was finally, Thor lets him, is like, you can choose what you want to do. And he's like, inevitably, the thing that you want more than anything is the thing that I love, that I want more than anything anyone wants, is just to be loved. And he's like, love, and he's like, you can wish for your daughter back if you want. You could do that. Instead of killing more people, instead of making more people's lives miserable. And he's like, oh, god damn. He's right. And I love that ending where his wish is finally not to kill, but is to bring his daughter back. And he lays there dying, she's cradling him, and he's just crying and sobbing. He's like, I'm so sorry for everything I did. I love that. Christian Bale's acting in that scene, I thought was great. I thought it was so beautiful. And because that's another thing too, because he even before he brings his daughter back, he's like, if I die, because he knows that he's dying without a necro sword, he's dying. He's been infected by it for so long. And he's like, well, if I bring her back, then she won't have anybody. And this sets up one of my favorite things about the movie that can both be an end to the Thor films or sets up something new. And it is, Natalie Portman tells him, Jane Foster tells him, like, she won't be alone. And she looks at Thor, and Thor's like, I'll do it. I'll raise her as my own daughter. And he does it, brings back the daughter. Jane Foster dies. Gorr dies. And Thor ends up adopting Gorr's child as his own. And I thought it was so beautiful because it reminds me of like his own father, of Odin, who adopted Loki. Failed, obviously, in raising him. There's no doubt about it. And to me, it's almost like Thor, it's like this child represents his love that he has for Jane, the love that he had for his brother, and the understanding that he had for Gorr in the end of what he went through. And I thought that was just so beautiful. I love the ending where now they go around the galaxy righting wrongs, and he's trying to teach her to be a more upstanding. She has fucking freaky powers, though, just like her dad, but like, her biological father. But you realize that's what the movie is. That's what the movie's named after. It's it's Love and Thunder. What Thor ends up naming Gorr's daughter is Love. He calls her Love, and he goes by Thunder, and that's Love and Thunder. And I was like, oh! And then they go off on their adventures. I thought, oh, that was so great. I thought that was so great how they did all that. Jay said, fun fact, that's Chris Hemsworth. Like, oh, it is. Oh, adorable. Oh, that's why it works. That's why they had that cute little chemistry. I thought she held her own. She does a really good job. And then, the other part of the movie, which another big spoiler in the film, you have Zeus, who seemingly is killed at the end of the second third. He's like, fuck you, we're gonna kill you and all your friends and everything. Great action sequence. And Olympus, I forget what they call it, like Olympus City or something. They kind of do like a whole different name of Olympus, but it's very similar to Olympus. And Zeus is showing off the fucking lightning bolt and everything, and he like throws it. Thor just fucking gets pissed off, catches it, and throws it right back, and it goes right through Zeus's fat fuck body, and he just falls over. He just falls, and he's fucking seemingly dead. I thought that was great. I thought that was so fucking funny. But he survived. He did survive. We see it. That's the first end credit stinger. And Zeus is like, all right, fuck Earth. Fuck all those goddamn humies. The gods shall, have their vengeance. They shall fear us, and we'll show them that their heroes are weak. And you will be the first to do this, my son. And you realize that it's Hercules. So we do get Hercules, who was mentioned in the movie, but we don't see him. But we get Hercules, and the actor I believe is from Ted Lasso. It's Brett Goldstein, chap. Who is one of the a lot of people's favorite character from Ted Lasso. And so it's like, oh, cool. And he has the outfit. He looks just like he does from the comic Shad. He has the yellow and green outfit, and it looks really good. Omnipotent City. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And so that's what they're clearly setting up to have Hercules come to the MCU. I don't know, be another Thor movie. We'll see. But, fucking Zeus and the other gods are like really fucking pissed off at everybody. There's some other cool little things that happen. Korg is seemingly killed at one point, but he just like he gets hit by the lightning bolt and his body gets destroyed, but he's just like a face that they all have to carry around for most of the movie. Also, we learned that what is his species called? Cronins, whatever they are. They're all male. And we also learn how they make a baby, chat, where they go to a volcano, they hold hands with their significant other, and they put their hands in the lava, and they put that in for a month, and then eventually they take them out, and they have a little baby. And it's adorable. And he gets a boyfriend, chat. Korg gets a husband, and his name is Blaine, and he has a nice big mustache. Probably is Impotent City. Most likely it is. Trying to get any of the other big spoilers and the goats. The fucking goats, which some people have already mentioned. I didn't want to mention them because I guess they were in the trailers, but the goats fucking scream in the movie. They're all going, ah! Ah! like all the time. And I can see where some people wouldn't like that, but anytime the fucking goat showed up, I thought this is fucking amazing. Like anytime. Because that's the thing, like Taika Waititi knew. Like, he didn't have them screaming, like, all the time, but there would be, like, a moment where the goats would be there, and there'd be, like, 30 minutes in the movie, and they'd have a sequence where they would just start screaming again, and it fucking killed me. Like, they get to Gorr's little planetoid, and you don't even realize, you think it's, like, it's much bigger, but it's actually really small, and they crash into it, and you just hear this, as their ship crashes there, and you hear this, ah! And I fucking loved it. It fucking killed me every time. I love the goats in the film, but yeah, no, there was some really cool moments in this movie. It sets up some stuff. I think both of the stingers work really well. Setting up Hercules. The other one is letting Jane Foster go to Valhalla and to live out her life, in peace and harmony. I think it's quite beautiful, Chad. I like what they did with Gorr. It's like, yes, I would have. It's the kind of thing where, Christian Bale is so good as Gorr, and I would have liked more scenes with him in the movie, but I really love how they wrapped up his storyline at the same time. So it's like, damn it. Again, it's better to leave you feeling wanting than not wanting at all, So, yeah, there's some good stuff in the movie, though, chat. What about you? If there's any spoiler stuff in the film that you guys really like? Overall, like I said, I really enjoyed the movie. I'm curious to hear your thoughts. What about you guys? Mr. Lowry, good to see you. Hello there. Too bad I dragged ass on catching this on time. Oh, no. Yeah, I did have the spoilers up there. Yeah, we were just doing a brief spoiler review. After it was Dwayne like the Rock. Is that what they named the thing? Oh, wow. That is so fucking funny. His name was Dwayne. I thought his name was Blaine. Oh, that's funny. That's even funnier. Oh, great. So hoping Thor to become king of New York. Nah, man, he just wants to raise his little daughter. He just wants to be a dad. Making pan flaps. I got a real life friend who would have been popping up around here sometime. Oh, nice. Tooth Gnasher and Tooth Grinder are both in the comics and Norse mythology. They are Thor's steeds in myth. Oh, it's so cute. I totally forgot the love triangle of the hammers. And so, like, Thor really wants Mjolnir, and Stormbreaker gets, like, really jealous. And it's just lightning bolts like, hey, man, take it easy. That was great. I just think the whole give Thor a daughter thing was done less for story purposes, more because wouldn't that be cute? No, I feel the complete opposite. No, I feel like it's, again, he was trying to find purpose. He was trying to find something. All the places that he was looking in, he realized they weren't, that was what he wanted. And he's presented with something that he never even thought of, that never occurred to him. And it was like, that was the love that he thought would give him purpose. And it was in the form of this girl, of his enemy, of this little girl that he wants to raise now. I really liked that. I thought that was different. It wasn't the whole, oh, him and Jane reunited, and it's like, they did, but she still died, which is like, goddamn, everyone dies around him. It's so tragic. That wasn't that you know, they were able to end things again on their own terms, and they were able to express their love for each other, but realize that it couldn't be because of the circumstances. But they were very mature about it. But he found love in another way, which is the love of a daughter, of a child. I thought, oh, that's fucking beautiful. I don't know. Maybe my dad's sensibilities are coming out, but I thought that was so cute. I thought that was, I mean, it was cute. I thought, not even cute, but just incredibly wholesome, and puts the Thor character in a new type of scenario. I think that'll be really special. They continue to do it in the future. If they continue to make movies of Thor. I'd love to see Daughter of Thor. Because how about Hela in the play they had? Oh, yeah, that's right. So they brought back they did the play again. I think someone ruined this for me, though, before. I forgot about it when I went to go see the movie, though. But I think it was like a few months ago. Someone said, this person's in the movie, and they're playing this person. I'm like, shut the fuck up. Don't tell me. But I forgot about it at the time, thank God. And so they brought back Matt Damon and Sam Neill and Chris Hemsworth's other brother for the play. And they were basically doing the story of Ragnarok. And in that, they had Melissa McCarthy as Hela. I thought that was pretty funny. I really liked that. I really liked that. How Jane died? She died from the cancer. She had the cancer. What was happening was every time she became Lady Thor, just straight from the comics, it would just take all the chemo out of her body, all the drugs out of her body, so she wasn't able to battle it. And it was just making it worse and worse. She's becoming sicker and sicker and sicker at a faster rate. And so her body it shut down. Yeah. Making the cancer stronger, agreed. That's what makes so much of the humor work. Yeah, exactly. I really dug it, you know. And I'm sad that people aren't really digging it, but, you know, what are you going to do? Death reminds me of the protagonist of Yakuza, Jason. Laughed when they did a flashback of Jane. Oh, that was so cute. No, they did this wonderful flashback to, like, because, you know, Ragnarok, we find out through dialogue that, oh, Jay and I broke up, and that was it. But we see what their relationship was like beforehand, and it was really fucking adorable. I thought it was really cute. Like, they go roller skating, and he's like, hey. It just puts a smile on my face thinking about these scenes. Like, I get it. It's crazy. We just get a different creator involved. Where, like, you had a relationship that, I'm sorry, just wasn't working for me in those previous two Thor movies, which was between Natalie Portman and Chris Hemsworth, and you just get, like, a different director and a different tone, and, I mean, I know Taika Waititi also co-wrote this movie, but he just knew how to handle that relationship much better than Brana did and whoever the other guy was. He just really knew what to do with that relationship, and I thought I loved it. I really loved it, you know, how they handled that. So agreed. It's 2 plates. I know. He's like, I made all this for you. I have to clean it up. It's literally 2 plates. I made contacts by the hammer chose. Yes, that's it. And it sets up. That's true. In that flashback, it sets up why the hammer is with Jane too, why it makes sense, and also inevitably he gets the hammer back. And so everyone who is getting pissed off, he's like, well, no, he's gonna not. He gets the hammer too. He gets the hammer at the very end of the movie when she passes on. But she proved worthy, Chad. I'll tell you what, because I'm sure it's gonna piss off all the neckbeards and jabronis online. She deserved the hammer. She deserved it, and she wielded it, and she shone bright. She burned brightly, and she deserved it. Sweet Dick Ricky, thank you so much for subscribing. 11 months of incredible support. Pleasure to have you here, Sweet Dick Ricky. Welcome. I'm talking my shit. I'm talking my spoilers. We'll be moving on from the spoilers in just a bit, but I'm getting all the spoilers out of the way, and then we can get in the gameplay. Thought the goats were hilarious, and because of how annoying they were, like when Nebula was about to kill them in the first act. Really loved those two. I thought the goats were great. I fucking loved them. They were so funny. About 2 plays. Where's the cowboy she giving the Lady Thor? Don't call her fucking Lady Thor. She's Mighty Thor. She gets them from Mjolnir. Mew Mew. Because, as you know, ye who prove worthy, who is able to lift this hammer, shall be imbued with the powers of Thor. That's how she gets them. She proved worthy. But they also set up why also the hammer chose her to begin with. Why I was calling to her specifically. They do set it up in some flashbacks, which is like, you can say, it's like, that's retconning. But at the same time, we never knew about those scenes anyway. So it worked out for Mew Mew. Mew Mew is back. You know, it's kind of, it reminded me of God of War in a way, you know, where it kind of breaks apart. So it can break apart now, and it goes, and it's like, acts like a shotgun blast. It's like a shotgun blast. You can fire people, and it goes through them and shit. It's pretty cool. Show, thank you for the 100 biddies. My heart's a pitter-patter, and I do appreciate everyone. My cousin with the hype train chat? My God. Normus, the goats pull Thor's chariot. He then kills them for their meat. Oh, and they were born the next morning. On one night, he shared their meat with a peasant family, and the son ate the marrow from Tooth Gnasher's leg, leaving that goat lame in that leg. Oh, the boy was made Thor's whipping boy afterwards. Oh, no! Oh, God. I like Mighty Thor. I would have liked her to stick around. Megan Portman would have only wanted to come back one more time. How to handle the cancer? Do you get and how do you handle the cancer? Do you get cure? And how do you handle that? Well, yeah, I think so. I feel like with Natalie Portman, thank you, show, for another 100 biddies. I feel like for her, it was almost like my experience on those first 2 movies. Probably mostly the second one was not the best, and Taika Waititi probably wanted to, it's funny because I would not have done it. For myself, probably wouldn't have brought her back, chap, because I just really disliked her character. But he said, no, we're going to do right by her, and we're going to have her be in a situation where it'll be interesting, and she'll be fun and likable, and she'll have some great moments. And they did it. He did it. I know a lot of people are talking about that right now, but yeah, they in terms of the MCU, they absolutely redeemed the Jane Foster character, and they made her character. I really, really liked her in the movie. She's one of the standouts. So, there's also a whole, I think I already mentioned this before. There's a whole sequence in the movie where they do the, like, in case you forgot what happened to Thor and his adventures, they do like a recap of everything, and they do it with the destruction of Asgard. And, like, Korg is so fucking dismissive of Asgard and, like, the Warriors 3. And then that guy died, and him, and I don't know who he was. Was he there? Is that what happened? They don't give a shit. And I love that. I bet most people who love those first 2 Thor movies are probably like, they're really pissed, but I thought it was very funny. Giant Elf Man, thank you for the 100 biddies. Oh, Lord, I had the volume low because I'm seeing the... I understand. No, I understand. No, we're going to move on, Chet. We're going to move on from the spoilers in just a bit. We're going to get hype in just a second. Let me just go ahead and see what everyone else was saying, because I know I was going on my spiel. Let me see. But, I know, Roscoe, that Greek accent is amazing. I love him. I flick you. I flick. You have grape. You have wine. I flick you. Why, hello. Oh, my Lord. Maybe you could take Gorr one-on-one. I don't know, man. He was pretty tough. He took on, Gorr was kicking ass in this movie. He took on, him and his shadow monsters, took on Thor, Jane Foster, Valkyrie, and he was wiping the floor of them. He was very powerful. Very, very powerful. I read the Natalie Portman's character in the comics come back and his Valkyrie, so I could see what happened. And listen, if they want to, yeah, Sure. I mean, Idris Elba could come back as Heimdall if they wanted to, which I was like, oh, fuck, it's fucking Idris Elba. They could. They could, But if they didn't, it would still be fine. I imagine what they'll inevitably do is once they get to phase 6 or whatever, and, it's Secret Wars and, like, Doctor Doom is about to destroy the multiverse, they'll bring back everybody. They'll bring back everybody they can. I'm sure they'll do that. But we'll see. The Lions did enjoy the post-credits. Can't wait to see. Yeah, I thought both post-credit scenes were really, really good. Really, really good. But thank you, chat, for getting hyped with me. Thank you about Kuro. Sif. Oh, yeah, Sif was back. That's the thing. Yeah, Sif, I guess that's a criticism I have. Sif is back for, like, maybe 5 minutes. She loses an arm. Maybe the arm's involved. I thought it would have been really funny because Thor, at one point, he finds her. And she's like, oh, leave me to die so I may go to Valhalla. And he's like, well, technically, the battle's been over for like a while, and you won't actually go to Valhalla. Your arm probably is in Valhalla right now. I thought it would have been hilarious. I wonder if they thought about this. If at one point when Natalie Portman goes to Valhalla and she sees like Idris Elba, Heimdall, and then right next to him is the fucking severed arm of Sif just walking around and flopping. That would have been hilarious. I probably would have done that. I'm shocked they didn't. I'm honestly shocked they didn't do that at all. That would have been really, really, really funny. Oh, my Lord. Akira, they really redeemed Jane. Honestly, just highlights that it was a poor handling. Yeah, it was. That's what it was. It was, poor handling of her character. The first 2 movies, Sif should have been a mystical arm, like some kind of... I bet she will. I bet she'll get, like, some mystical arm in the future. I'm glad she's back. She's back. She's back. I was wondering why exactly Thor wanted her to stay behind to recover when there was no way she was going to recover naturally at stage 4 cancer and didn't really provide any hint. It was going to find a way to cure it magically. I mean, but he knew. I mean, if she had transformed again, she would have died. And he's basically saying, like, if you do this again, you will die. All right. Whereas there is, even if it's a 0.0001% of a chance that she stayed there and was on those drugs and those medications and that chemo, there was a better chance of her staying alive and surviving there than having her go and fight Gorr. I mean, they established that. I mean, that makes sense to me. He's like, I don't want to lose you, okay? There's a chance that you can still be alive tomorrow if you stay here. That's like his whole thing. I like Darcy too. No, they brought back. I mean, I love Kat Dennings. She's great. She's back. She's only in one scene, but she has a good scene. She has a good scene, chat. I mean, they're gonna bring back the Darcy character and other things, I'm sure. But she was good. I thought she was handled much better here than she was in the previous Thor films, and I thought she was great in WandaVision. Chat. And yes, Stellan Skarsgård also makes a cameo, trying to help Jane with her cancer. But yeah, thank you, Chad. We're going to go ahead and get hype. I owe you a hype train, but here it is. That's my spoiler review for Thor Love and Thunder. There will be no more spoilers anymore. No more spoilers, chat. Spoilers are done. Get out of here. Broom them fast. Kick them in the curb. No more spoilers. No more spoilers, chat.